I think the running theme of this conversation for me is that the church continues to perpetuate a system where men control access to the divine, even though women are often the boots with the fur on the ground, actually imbuing sacredness into things. Like, I think the home is such a good example of this, where it in Mormonism, it is almost always Mormon women who create the home environment, who decide on the decor, who do the seasonal touches to make the space feel special as the seasons transition. They do all this stuff, right? And yet these two random dudes from the ward come over and they dedicate the home, and that's what makes it sacred. No, what makes a space sacred is like the love you pour into it, the connection you build with the space, and how you like learn to live with it, and all nothing that actually matters or makes a space sacred can be achieved through just like some bros coming over and saying like, now the house is blessed. And I feel like that's a running theme, like naming babies, doing the baby blessings, is like women are responsible for the child rearing, but it's
They're
the men that are
gatekeepers.
in the spotlight. And then funerals, it's women who carry the burden of emotional labor in patriarchal cultures, and kind of often generally depending, but it's women who people will go to with their grief. It's like, realistically, your bishop's not going to be as helpful as like some sister in the Relief Society when it comes to holding space for your grief and like really listening deeply. And yet it's the men who preside over the funerals and all the stuff around that. And then Heavenly Mother, we're taught that a woman's primary purpose is to be a mother and a caregiver, and yet we only all get to be parented by Heavenly Father while we're on earth, which seems a bit backward, because it's like, isn't that Heavenly Mother's main thing? So it's like time and time again, women are doing the work and trying to bring sacredness into things, and then the men just get to be in the spotlight at these really significant cultural milestones. It all feels kind of telling, that they feel the need to have that kind of prominence, even with things where they're kind of taking a back seat most of the time. I saw a TikTok recently that talked about how a lot of men in patriarchal cultures, for example, don't necessarily love raising children. They just like the aesthetic of parenthood and of raising a family. And I thought that was really interesting.
Gatekeepers to the divine.
Yeah.
Is
I
what
like
I'm
that a
hearing.
lot.
Yeah. Because why? Because I think they're threatened by what's unknowable and uncontainable, and like sexuality,
Sure.
and dare I say women as a whole. Like, to most men, those things are quite unknowable and uncontainable. So they try to contain them.